Hey
What's up,
guys.
guys? Back for the last and final Rangers post game of the season.
Yeah.
It's over.
Yeah.
The Rangers have completed the NHL campaign this season. They do not make the playoffs, obviously, but they do close out with a strong win here against a playoff-bound team.
Yeah.
As they defeat the Boston Bruins 5-4 in regulation. Snap a 4-game losing streak. Maybe 5. I don't remember the last time the Rangers won. I think it was against the Sabres, honestly.
Yeah, I think it was 5.
So, a lot to look forward to going into the future. I mean, we'll break down the game real quick, then we'll just talk about the season in general. Keandre Miller with a goal. Great shot from him. Traffic in front. Kravtsov gets a goal. Zibanejad with 2 goals. And Lafayette got a goal. And Buchnevich had 3 assists in the game. Kincaid was in, got hurt. Shesterkin had to come in and...
It was like 11 minutes in the third period left, I think. And Kincaid was doing a pretty good job goaltending.
Bruins were out shooting the Rangers desperately.
Oh my God.
Like ridiculously.
It was almost twice all the time. It was almost...
30-15 at one point.
Yeah, and it was 20-10, so it was almost double the amount all the time.
It seemed, honestly, though, once Kincaid got hurt, the Rangers started playing better.
Yeah.
I don't know if that has something to do with Shesterkin coming in cold, so they were like, we have to protect our goalie.
Well, that's what we thought too. We thought as soon as Igor's coming in, Boston's going to just slam him with pucks because he's a cold goaltender, even though he's good. And so maybe that's what the Rangers were thinking too. We're like, we have to do it.
I mean, Boston would make it an exciting game. They ended up pulling the goalie and scoring late.
Yeah.
With an empty net. The Rangers would just hold on to win this 5-4.
Mm-hmm.
And not only did the Rangers win this game, the Rangers won this game with like nobody on their roster.
Yeah.
They were all call-ups. You know, Justin Richards makes his NHL debut. I think like 12, like 10, not 12, that's an exaggeration. I want to say between the number of like 8 to 10 players have made NHL debuts with the Rangers this year. Bieta was in, Tim Gettinger, Zach Jones, Brodinski.
Isn't Reunion?
Reunion, yeah. Did I say Bieta?
You said Bieta. I don't know if Bieta was new.
Morgan, Barron was in. You know, that's 6 right there. Jones, I don't know if I said Jones. I think I might have said Jones.
I said Jones.
Either way, we're talking like 6 to 8 players.
Yeah.
You know, that have made their NHL start. And most of them were in this game because there's no Panarin, there's no Trouba, there's no Kreider, there's no Lindgren.
Mm-hmm.
You know, your top guys are out. Like, so it's surprising that the Rangers got this win. I wasn't expecting them to get this win, honestly.
No, I was just hoping they would play hard.
Yeah.
I felt like they didn't last game. They weren't. And
play like one more meaningful game, but I would take the win.
Yeah.
Spoils some kind of fun here for the Bruins because they're still trying to become first in the division.
Yeah.
So we'll talk about the season real quick because we could go on about this for hours with the Rangers. So nothing but bright things, I think, are in the future for the Rangers. They've had a crazy year. As I was saying on the stream before we cut off, they've gone through ups and downs that I've never seen a sports team go through, like a club. We followed the team very closely this year because of the streams. I usually watch every game. I pay attention. Very rarely do I miss a game. But now being able to like really, really be in the depths of it all and see what this team went through. They went through quite an emotional roller coaster ride of a season with everything going on in the world, COVID, travel restrictions, shortened season, the whole Panarin incident.
Only divisional play.
People getting sick.
Yep.
Games being postponed.
Smushed season, like a lot of back-to-back games.
A lot of back-to-back, A lot of crunch time games.
Mm-hmm.
Then the whole firing now of like the total like top management.
Yeah. Just when you thought the drama was over because the season was ended, that happened.
The Tom Wilson incident. I mean, there's a lot of stuff happened in a short season here for the New York Rangers. Thinking they were going to make the playoffs, to just like kind of having a collapse here at the end.
Yeah, but doing horrible and then doing great. And coming so close.
There's a Zibanejad drought that kind of hurt this team in the first half of the season.
Yeah.
Where you couldn't buy a fucking goal.
Yep. All the goalie problems, like Kincaid did good, but we had to use him a lot at one point because Eagle was out. Hurt, Georgia was weird. And
the team's gone through a lot. I absolutely 100% expect them to make the playoffs next year. I'm not saying they're going to go to the Stanley Cup. I'm not saying they're just going to coast to a deep playoff run. I expect them to make it. They proved that they could have made it if the points were different in any other division in this league. The Rangers finished with 60 points. That's a playoff team in any other division except this division because this division is such a bitch. It's so hard. You have to have like 70 fucking points in this division to make the playoffs because everyone's always winning, which is ridiculous because it's all against each other.
Right.
So any other division the Rangers make the playoffs, like I said, next year, full season, cross interdivision play, I absolutely expect the Rangers to 100% make it into the playoffs. If they get them in first round, they get them in first round. I expect them to do better than what they did this year. And they almost made it this year.
Yeah, and that's the thing, too. It's been a very tough season. So coming into next season, they've already had to struggle through all this craziness. Right. Hopefully it'll be a little bit easier. Like having a big challenge to get through, and then hopefully next season will be better for them.
Right.
Which I think it will be.
Absolutely. I expect Lafayette to have at least 20 goals next season.
Yeah.
He had 12.
Yeah. Yeah.
He had a slow start. Yeah. Trust me. Everybody chirped about that. We all know he had a slow start. I know when you're the number one pick, you're under a microscope for a while. It kind of died down as he started putting up numbers.
Yeah.
Zibanejad kicked it into gear. I expect him to have another really good season next year. I want to say he'll be up in the 40s goal scoring. Kreider. That's a whole other issue here with Chris Kreider. We just signed him to a 6-year deal. He played really good for a portion of this season. He was really hot for a while. He went ice cold again after that. He went from really cold, really hot, really cold, but that's what we expect from him.
Right.
But so many people were trying to give him the captain, give him the C when Zibanejad wasn't playing well. And then Kreider fell off that real quick because he stopped skating, he stopped playing, and he ended up getting hurt. So he's been out.
You said that too when that happened when he was doing really well. You're like, oh, he's kind of spotty. And
he's very spotty. He's a great hockey player. I just kind of feel like he shows up when he wants to. Mm-hmm. Buchnevich had a very good year. I thought he was good. He has some work that needs to be done with him. He's good. I like where he fits in. Strome, he might be on the chopping block, unfortunately. I think if there was any of the top 6 forwards that were going to be given away, I think it's Ryan Strome. He's all right. I'm kind of on the fence with him. I like him. But I think he's kind of streaky too. But I think the Rangers could get something good for him. There's probably plenty of teams that need a Ryan Strome. Fox. I mean, what can you say about Adam Fox? Norris Trophy winner, should get the Norris Trophy this year. If he doesn't, I'd be fucking shocked. Outstanding. You know what you get from Fox day in and day out when he steps on the ice. Same with Panarin. Not much to be said about those two guys. Except they're constantly putting up multi-point games. Shesterkin, kind of a rough start this year. Kind of fell off a little bit. Then he found his way when he came back from injury. He got very good again.
Can I just say something about Fox before we move on? One thing I remember about him is when it was the empty net and he was even doing the goalie position.
Blocking shots.
Everything was
covered. Get everything from Adam Fox. You get scoring, you get shot blocking, and you get good defense from him.
All right, so sorry, Igor.
And then Igor, like I said, he fell off kind of early. It's projected to be the number one now that Lundqvist is gone. Him and Georgiev kind of traded back and forth. I think David Quinn was kind of waiting for someone to rise to the occasion. Mm-hmm. And then Igor gets hurt.
Yeah.
Kincaid came in, he played well. Georgiev was spotty. But then when Igor came back, he played solid. Yes. He went back to number one and was getting most of the starts. Yeah. I think he'll be fine next year. He'll obviously still be number one. I'm trying to think of who else we could touch on. I don't want to name every player on the Rangers. I'm just talking about guys who stood out. And Kravtsov comes in.
Yeah.
Kravtsov, very good. Scored in today's game. I think once he starts developing, him and Lafayette and Hedel, that would be a fun line to watch, a kid line. We've seen it a couple times this season. Those kids are fun to watch because they cycle the puck well, they're fast, and they're just, the youngness of that line is great.
Miller's good.
Keandre Miller, rookie, has been outstanding. Yeah, he's the one I want to talk about. He got a goal in this game, too. He finished the season with 5 goals. He's been outstanding. Very rarely did he mess up this year. I could probably count on one hand the turnovers he made this year. So he was lights out. A lot of people said he wasn't ready for this season. He looked like he's been out there for 5 seasons. He looked very good. And the rest of them, there might be some changes coming up. I think Brett Howden might be going, like I said. Blackwell, all right, I want to talk about Blackwell. He was a really good player for us this year. He fell off at kind of in the last month. Yeah. But he stepped up when other players weren't stepping up. If you go back to some of the earlier games, I was making jokes like, Blackwell's got more goals than Zibanejad, and he's on the 4th line. Blackwell ended up working himself up to a second-line player. He was rewarded for how he played. He made the most of his 4th-line minutes and ended up getting to play on the second line. So it's kind of like a coming-of-age story for him because, weren't you saying he said he never amounted to anything or somebody was...
Nobody ever thought that he could make it.
That he could make it,
right. Yeah.
Well, he made it.
Yep, and he just didn't let that stop him in anything. In many aspects in his life, people tell him he couldn't do stuff.
Yeah. And like I said, he kind of started to fall off here at the end of the season, but most of the Rangers did, so you can't put the entirety on him. Hopefully he gets a chance to replicate what he did this season next year. We'll have to see if they keep him around. And now we'll get to David Quinn.
Can I just do one more thing? Brendan Smith. So almost good, the one questionable one in the trade, I felt like, and he was very happy to stay, and he stood up to Tom Wilson, and he has been kind of the older one out of his group of people. He's the older one out of the kids, and he's shown up really well, and I hope he stays for next season. Cause he loves being a Ranger, he said it, and I feel like he's a good player.
Not bad.
I feel like he's always on the fence, right?
He makes some bad plays sometimes. He does have bad turnovers occasionally. I do like him and Hayek on a 3rd D pair. I think if they have their heads screwed on, they're not bad. But he has made a couple of bad plays that cost the Rangers a goal here and there.
They did last game.
Last game was one example.
What was the last game? But recently, yeah.
But there's also been times where he stepped up and scored when nobody else has.
Yeah.
But you need that from guys, but you also need your top scorers to be scoring too. Yeah. So it's nice to get compliment goals from players like that. But he has to be better defensively on the puck. I don't know if he'll make it through camp. We'll have to see. I think Hayek might have a better chance of making it than he does. And that's because I know Hayek, you don't hear Hayek as much, but that's because he doesn't do as many stupid things. So we'll just have to see. Hayek and Smith are on the fence for me. And obviously, your other, there's a ton of call-ups. I'm not going to go through all the players who got called up.
Yeah.
Another one I'm looking forward to is Hedel. I like to see Hedel have a promising future. He's a very good kid. I think I would like to see him continue to play for the Rangers. I don't want, because he could easily be gotten rid of and you could get something for Hedel because he's young and he's talented. Hopefully the Rangers don't give up on him because he kind of had a slow season this year. He was out for a while. He was one of the only players doing anything in the beginning of the season. He got hurt. So hopefully they stick with him and his progression. So now we'll get to David Quinn. I don't know what's going to happen to David Quinn. Everyone's asking what I think was going to happen to David Quinn. I thought his job was safe. He's only coached the Rangers for 3 years. This was his 3rd year. Now that the GMs and the CEO have been fired, what usually tends to happen in hockey is they will bring in 2 new guys, but those guys will already have their own staff who they want to be a coach under them. Guys they already know. That's how it usually works. Now, I'm not saying that's a definite for Quinn. He'll probably get another crack at it. And then I think those guys will be like, well, we have somebody. Sorry, Quinn, you had 4 years. At least give him a crack with a regular season coming up. And now that a lot of the pieces have fallen into place here kind of for the Rangers, give him one more shot. If they don't, they don't. I'm neutral about it. I don't care. David Quinn is not my favorite coach, but I don't despise him. So I could go either way with the David Quinn thing. I just know how this works, that if they do decide to keep him, this would probably be the last year. And if he doesn't bring the Rangers to the playoffs, at least, they're going to be like, look, we got somebody.
Mm-hmm. I think you're right about that, but also in saying that when they knew it, bringing new people, that they already have people picked out. If this was to happen, and I think it's so unpredictable right now, I don't even think there's a decision made or in the works. Like, I think it's going to be a crazy decision. But Chris Drury was kind of assistant coaching, right, with Knobs. Mm-hmm. So he has a relationship with him already. A lot of the players we saw tonight came from Hartford Wolfpack, which means they've worked with Knobs before, and they already have a relationship with him. So that might be the perfect spot to fill it. I don't really want to change anything up because I'm not a huge David Quinn fan either. But you know what? They're on the path of something. You know what I mean? Don't change up too much.
It wasn't like a total disaster. I mean, I understand everybody wanted, when things go rough in New York, it's hard. The fan base is tough to deal with. They want change. They want results immediately. So I get it. But at the same time, you have to understand this is not going to happen in like a year. I know, like I said, Quinn's been around for 3, but now the pieces are starting to fall into place here. David Quinn kind of stepped into a shit show when he joined the Rangers. Lundqvist was on his way out. The Rangers have still, they're having trouble making the playoffs. They're in the middle of a rebuild. And now I think the rebuild's starting to finally fall into place. Couple of pieces missing from the puzzle. But David Quinn hasn't done a terrible job. There are worse situations to be in right here. Nobody projected the Rangers to even be talking about the playoffs in May. And they were. They had the ability to scrape in. Obviously, they didn't get the job done. They're still a young, inexperienced team. But I'd say give Quinn another crack at it. At least one more year, and then we could be like, okay, it's time for a change. But I think he deserves one more crack at a full season with cross-divisional play and give these young guys a chance to play a full season. So
when Knobs came in to fill in for Quinn when he was out, I was one of those same people that was like, get rid of Quinn, get Knobs, this is so much better because now we're actually winning. But when Quinn came back, it continued to be a good team. So I kind of took that back and was just emotional in the moment. But yeah, I don't think we can think this through. I think it's going to be a crazy decision. Just like the spur of the moment CEO or president and GM firing. I think it's going to be something crazy that no rational person can predict.
Some teams fire. I mean, he could be fired right now. We don't know. We're doing this right after the game. Some teams do that. Mm. They wait till like the last game and then they're like, he's fired. Yeah, but just to appease like the crowd, I guess. And then some teams keep it on the wraps for a little while, and then they'll announce it as the season draws closer. It could go either way. Like I said, I'm neutral to it. So we'll see what happens.
Yeah, I'm ready for whatever with it.
Like I said, it's a bright future ahead for the Rangers. Like seriously, if it wasn't bright, I would say it wasn't bright. Because I've said it's not been bright before. So I think everything will work out here. Like I said, I 100% chance, 100% expect them to make the playoffs next year. And again, we just want to, now that the season's over, everybody who followed us on here, thank you so much. We started this with 0 subscribers using my phone. Which we're still using. We didn't expect to get a huge response like this. I mean, it doesn't seem like it's a huge to us.
Very huge to us and so appreciative.
And everybody's been really good on here. Yeah. Everyone's been supportive. Everyone's been fun to hang out with. And we like doing it because, we like hockey. I'm a huge hockey fan, Rangers hockey. So I figured, I should do something with the sport that I love so much. And I like calling the games, I like watching the games, I like talking about the games. And it's nice to have you guys in here to talk with us about the games. And baseball, too, which we will continue to do. Yeah. Now that the season's over, like I said, we're not doing any NHL playoff teams. I don't have my heart in it to do it if it's not the Rangers. But we will continue to do baseball throughout the season. So we'll always have that for the summer between the Mets and the Yankees. But again, thank you to everybody who popped in. Everybody who chats with us. In the chat during the games, because some of these games go like 3 hours. Even the baseball games go like 4 hours, so we really appreciate it. Yeah. You guys are all passionate too. We like that we have a demographic like so many different fans in here.
Yeah, all different teams.
Yeah, all different teams, not just Rangers. Yeah. We really appreciate you guys for being here, and like following us and watching us do this. And hopefully we could grow this, as we keep going.
Yeah.
And we're already excited for next year.
Yeah. And for the baseball, too. I'm so glad you do this. I think you do a great job announcing everything. And I'm so glad for all you guys for being here, subscribing, and encouraging us.
Yeah.
And telling anyone our subscriber count is going up.
Yeah, we really appreciate it. Yeah. We really do.
You guys are wonderful. And interacting with you. And anyone who's watching and not texting in the chat, thank you for watching.
Yeah.
Thank
Even
you
if you're just tuning in and listening to me ramble on about the game and her ramble on about the game, it's just, we really appreciate it.
Yeah, and I'm so glad I could do this. Thank you for letting me do this.
Yeah, no,
thank you guys for enjoying it.
It's been great, honestly, all around.
Yeah.
So,
yeah.
Cheers to you guys.
Yeah.
Seriously, the support has been very overwhelming.
Yes, thank you very much.
So we'll leave it at that. This has been a long post-game video, but we just wanted to let you guys know that we do really appreciate it.
So much. Thank you guys so much. Thank you guys for getting us to 100 subscribers and more. We didn't expect any of that.
Not at all.
This is so nice. Thank you guys so much.
So, like I said, we'll probably be back Wednesday for the next stream. We have a busy couple days coming up. We have to figure out some kind of baseball schedule.
Yeah.
Now that hockey's over, we'll be going full baseball for the summer.
So maybe Wednesday when we do the game, we'll have a schedule ready.
Yeah.
Or we'll have sorted out, hopefully.
We will still do Ranger videos if news and stuff happens throughout the off-season, obviously.
Right.
We'll talk about it. We won't just be gone about New York Rangers till, obviously, next October. We're still going to talk about it because I think there's going to be some changes coming up. Big or subtle. There's always changes.
Yeah.
So, again, guys, thank you.
Thank you so much.
Thank you so much. Rangers finish off the season with a 5-4 win.
Yeah.
And like I said, we'll be back on Wednesday for a stream. We'll have to decide what we're doing, Mets or Yankees. We'll just see. Like I said, we're not good at scheduling, so we'll see. But, all right, guys. Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Peace.
Bye.